This is problem number 17 from the August 2015 Algebra Regents exam. We're given two functions, f of x and g of x, and we need to find out for which value of x are they equal to each other. And to figure that out, essentially all we need to do is write each of these equations and set them equal to each other. So we're going to do x squared minus 2x minus 8, and we want it to be equal to the other function, which is a quarter of x minus 1. And now we just have this equation that we need to solve. Just because we have this fraction here, that's going to make things a little difficult to deal with, so let's multiply everything by 4, and that'll get rid of that fraction. So we'll end up getting 4x squared minus 8x minus 32 equals x minus 4. And again, we just did that by multiplying everything by 4 there. Okay, next we can move this x over here by subtracting x from both sides, and then we'll add 4 as well, and that way we'll get everything over to the same side of the equation. Because we're canceling both of those out. And we'll get 4x squared minus 9x minus 28 equals 0. Now, we can try to factor. Because we have a coefficient in front of the x squared term, what we're going to need to do is find a times c, so 4 times negative 28, and that's negative 112. And then we're looking for two numbers that multiply to get us that, but add to get negative 9. And after some guessing and checking, you should be able to figure out that you can get negative 112 by multiplying 16 and 7, or one of them has to be negative, right? So we want to add to negative 9, so it would be negative 16 and positive 7. And with those numbers, what we're going to do is rewrite this middle term, this x term here. So we're going to have 4x squared minus 16x plus 7x minus 28 equals 0. And we are doing that so that we can kind of split this into two halves and factor both sides separately. So in the first half, we can factor out a 4x. I'm just going to move over to the side here. And we'd be left with x minus 4. And then between 7x and 28, we can factor out a 7. So we'll do plus 7 times x minus 4. And as what we were hoping would happen, now we have a common factor here of x minus 4, so we can take out the x minus 4, and we'd be left with what's outside of the brackets, 4x plus 7. So, pretty lengthy process, but now that we have that factored, we can see that the roots, or the equation is x equals 4, or well, here we'd have to set 4x plus 7 equal to 0. I'm just kind of going to do that up here, which means that 4x equals negative 7, and x would be negative 7 over 4, which is negative 1.75. So x equals 4 and negative 1.75, that is option number 2. And by the way, if you're not familiar with that method of factoring I did, totally fine. I know some people are able to skip from this step straight to here, which is totally fine if you're able to do that. So, all right, I hope that was helpful, and thanks for visiting JD's Regents Preparation.